Hello, Collective. Welcome into your reading today. Welcome back to Infinite Light and Love 888. I am Juka. If you are new here, welcome in. For all of those following, watching, subscribing, welcome back. So glad to have you here. This channel has taken a huge boost over the last few days. Over 200 subscribers, and I'm so excited for that. And I thank you for watching. I thank you for the comments, the subscribes, the shares, the likes, the emojis. Um, this really is a co-creative space, and I just heard cohesive space. Um, we're working on this together, and I feel like that is part of the message. We as a collective are working on this together, not only within this collective, with higher realms of collective consciousness. 111 on the timers, I said that. So the message that I heard today is 12 is right around the corner. And I was given the feeling of a higher consciousness. So I researched that. What is 12D? There's a lot of progression. There's a lot of steps here. And this has formulated over time. The time period that we are talking about is the last couple of months. Now, this is a timeless reading. I feel that this message will resonate later down the line as well. It also feels like it is very important in this moment in time, which is I'm recording this on August 5th. 555, change is happening, change is coming. It's already started. And when I sat down here to write the notes, it was 11:12, and that was my first significator. There's something about that. Your first significator of higher consciousness. Okay. That was my first note of 12. Then, as I thought I was ready and I was going to hit record, it was exactly 12 p.m. And then I was reminded I needed my iPad because I need to show you notes. And when I picked it up, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. So this has been a big progression over the last 2 months that we're starting to gain an understanding. Okay, some things being brought to the root. We understand it. We're inner standing, understanding something. Now, Gemini is very significant here. The sun itself is very significant here. And the number 7. Seventh house placement is what I'm getting. I rolled the astro dice, and those are the ones that I got, confirming this Gemini and confirming this sun, like highlighting or seeing something now. You've seen something and you can't go back. Now, if you watched any of my videos back in June, I had said something about, I believe it was the full moon, one of the two, felt like more like an eclipse energy. And I'm being presented with more confirmations of that. There's a video I'm going to link in my description that talks about the Schumann resonance and timeline jumps. And it explains a little bit more. This was more of the confirmation for me of this message coming together that I'm delivering. And so the Schumann resonance, when I woke up this morning, well, first of all, I fell asleep on the couch last night. When I woke up, I was so tired, so exhausted, and went to go get in bed. And then I had trouble sleeping. So it led me to say, oh, hey, I wonder what's going on with the Schumann resonance. Well, the graph appeared down and was just completely black. So I thought, okay. And I had even sent it to a group chat. Wonder if we're having a timeline jump tomorrow because the graph is completely black. So then I finally go back to sleep, and I woke up at 7 something this morning, and we had a timeline jump. In fact, that whole time it was down feels like a long period, which I'm relating to that 2 months prior, June, July, we're now in August. There's been a long period of a gap that we have perhaps felt in the dark. Something that was unseen. We're moving through the unseen, the unknown. And then it came back online for a little bit, and then another timeline jump. Very significant to the video I'm going to link in here. She describes that a little bit more because I'm just learning about all this, and I feel like that's very significant. We are learning something. Now, let me show you these pictures because this is what's really strange. So as of this 7 something in the morning, well, 7:48. Okay, that's what, oh my goodness, 7 and 12. Interesting. Okay. So this is, oh shoot. Okay, stay upright. This is the graph. And if you can see here, this was this long gap. It was down, had a little bit of light, and then we had a timeline jump, and it went back in. Hold on. I need to be able to make this. There we go. So this black line running through the colors is a timeline jump. And then we went into more white light at the top, representing higher consciousness, these upper chakras, okay? So that was at 7:48 this morning, right? I showed you that. Now, I just checked it again. It was just before noon, 11:54 here on the graph. And I'll show you that time. 11:54, okay? Now, when I enlarge this picture and make it bigger, the blue line represents now 11:54 when I took this picture. But what's interesting is what happened at 7:48 this morning that I just showed you. It's in our future at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Odd? Yes. Because this has already happened. Like, this should be way down the graph and this 12 behind it, but it's not. What does all this mean? I don't know. It gives the feeling we've already seen the future in some way. You've seen something and you can't go back. It's a knowing now of the future. I feel like you've gained knowledge of the future in some form of what's right for you, your path, and where you're going. Now, side note to all of this is that when I took this picture at 12:02, you can see that here, this graph, this is the graph that shows release. Normal red is here. Okay? What we've been going through today is this. Looks a lot like fire, doesn't it? The flames up and down. This sun energy, fire. So you could have been feeling earlier. So this would have been the morning of the 5th, or depending on your time zone, could have been very early morning. You could have been feeling irritated, agitated, any fire energy, mad, things getting on your nerves, just like, oh my gosh, I'm having the worst morning, that kind of a feeling, that very well could be possible. So there's that part. Now, what I was getting from that large gap time, these past couple of months, I wrote down, reminded that you're human, and mistakes that you've made, or times that you have been wrong. Like you see it now, you see something, oh my gosh, I was wrong. Literally happening on this trip. I went to make a phone call to schedule the van, find out our van time, and I completely called the wrong number, the wrong hotel that was from the next night instead of this night. I made a call to the future. I made a call to the future. There's something about 117 here. If someone's been seeing 117, so that happened. There was something else. I was like, oh, I was completely, I had texted someone. I said, oh, I misread that. So I feel like that could be significant either. Like you read someone wrong, you read something wrong, or what is this? You thought it was going to be good for you, turned out it wasn't. And it's times that we're just being reminded that we are human. And it's so important for us to connect to our guides and our ancestors and the universe, all of these intergalactic beings is what I'm hearing that are here to support us. When I went to light my candle, I usually do this as a ritual, and I said, I'm lighting this candle to stay true to myself, and that's the best I've got. That's how I felt in that moment. Like I'm doing my best just to get through today. So that could be another feeling that you are having as well in these times of recognizing mistakes. Be mindful. You're doing the best you can. I feel like that's really important. Be kind and loving to yourself during this time. Now, with the 7th house, when I rolled the die, the 7th house came out here. And that's about relationships, ruled by Venus, and comes with the Libra energy. In the Gemini season. So the Gemini is all about the mind, the duality, seeing two perspectives or more. And these relationships, there's something about bringing love in to balance out. Now, I was also reminded that in this Gemini season, when I said it felt more like an eclipse than a regular full moon, I got the phrase, what did I write down? You've seen something and you can't come back, and your body is eclipsing. So it feels as if this time, there's been a time period that you've recognized something for the purpose of balancing it out. And now something is being removed, extracted from our mind, our body. I'm seeing bone marrow. I'm seeing a needle and drawing out an energy, drawing out a belief, a concept. Something's being extracted. That's the word I'm getting. You have been shown back in June when we had all the timeline jumps. You've been shown a higher consciousness. And now it feels as if in this timeline jump, currently that's happening now, it appears to be multiple timeline jumps, that we are bringing that information that we received when we were working in a higher realm, is the phrase I'm hearing. We are bringing it back down. Our body's eclipsing. And if you saw about my dream, or if you didn't see about my dream, one significant thing that happened was like this child in motion attempting to get away from danger, get away from harm, like stopped in motion and collapsing. Half in a higher realm, half in this realm. That's what I'm seeing now. And I, in the dream, went over and picked him up and placed him fully in this higher realm. This could be inner child work, helping your inner child rise, like they've been exhausted on this trip and they need a break. You know how kids will just go until they just fall over, you know? And that's what it felt like in the dream, was like he fell asleep walking, which led me to sleepwalking, led me to thinking about there's been what in life, what in our own personal lives have we been sleepwalking in, and is now being illuminated so that we can have this rise in consciousness. There's something else here with this child. Oh, the inner masculine, the sun relates to the masculine. So the inner masculine perhaps has been following with the sun. I'm seeing following a path of the sun. Okay. Inner masculine following a masculine's lead. And then in the dream, me being the feminine went over. He looked uncomfortable the way he was sleeping. Because at first I kept thinking, maybe I should just leave him because maybe he's okay. I was feeling so uncomfortable because he was half in, half out. And I went and picked him up and placed him on this cedar chest so that he could lie flat. I put him to rest more easily. So there's something about the feminine energy nurturing the masculine energy. This could be playing out in your reality. This could be playing out inner. It's probably both, to be honest with you. Now, as I leaned over to grab my chapstick, this card stuck to my arm and fell on the floor. This is the Muse of Pentacles. So this is the King of Pentacles, and in a feminine form, like showing the way crossing over to the light. This all seems very significant here, the way this came out. Following the light. And we need a little help. We need a little nourishing. Maybe time to admit that. Oh, I'm only human. I'm not a robot. I can't just keep going. You're not the Energizer Bunny. We all need a little love and support sometimes. Okay. The last thing that I got was that we've been shown a higher consciousness. Now we're coming back down. We're bringing that knowledge into this reality so that we can now in turn create our new reality. That's that feminine energy. Energy. I said that very strange. Your energy. Your inner G. Like your inner God. It's like you went and spent some time, went on vacation and stayed with God for a bit. You gained all this knowledge. Now you're bringing it back and you're using your inner G. Interesting. Okay, I like it. I like where this is going. Your inner God, your inner goddess. That was a lot. I saw something earlier that I had written. Oh, yes. Thank you for the reminder. Thank you. I had seen something I had written a long time ago. And you are the oracle. And that's just kind of came back to me in that moment. Oh, shoot. Did I not send it? Ah, darn it. Okay. We're going to go by memory. So yesterday, okay, hold on. See? Chaos. There's so much going on. Let me stop and ground for a moment here. I need a breath. There's so much information coming in here. I don't even know what I was saying. Apparently, I'm supposed to talk about this. When I was coming out to work, I wanted to film another short, and I ran out of time, did not have it, so I made notes in my phone yesterday. And there was a song, it was Sheryl Crow, the title, I'm not sure, is it Soak Up the Sun? I'm going to soak up the sun. I'm going to tell everyone to lighten up. Okay? And then I was getting the message. I was seeing the 3 and the 4. Like we had the 13s and the 14s were real significant those days. And then I was shown 3D reality, 4D reality. And then today I was shown 12D reality. So there's something about that. And with Metatron and this Merkaba, a lot of movement, you're going between realms and you're retrieving information and bringing it back into the now. And like I said, to create your new reality, which has already happened. When I showed you the graph, you've already seen the future. This concept is really hard for human. I'm hearing the word conception. So it's really hard to conceive that concept. But it does feel like a new concept. We will be resonating with this new frequency, bringing this high consciousness frequency into our vessel. What will help us understand what new world is going on here? Chamber of Power, bringing that light in. I'm going to soak up the sun. And then I'm going to tell everyone to lighten up. You're a leader. You do things first, and then you teach what you learn. That did come out. So I might be speaking to a collective who feels that they learn better like hands-on. That when you do something, like reading about it might just look like a lot of words, or it's hard to remember what you read. But when you read it and you do it and you follow along, you retain it better. We all learn in different manners, right? So this would be a person who is very tapped in, very kinesthetic person. You learn through the act of doing it. Actually, you know what this feels like? Is using all three strong suits of what you hear, what you see, and what you do. It's really using all of that to learn something. And now you're bringing that down in. Okay, this is really standing out at the very bottom. This looks like a triangle, and if the light will show it clearly, it has a rainbow look. Which that picture that I was showing, it was showing all the colors and then this black light. You're bringing the color, all of the colors, I'm hearing fractals of light into your root. You're pulling it down through your chakra system. In the middle of this timeline jump. What else came out? Create some space, and it came out reversed. Look here. We have a triangle pointing up and a triangle pointing down. Bringing this higher consciousness in. Some space had to be created, that long gap from June to August. Some space had to be created. You had to distance yourself from something so that you could see something that you hadn't previously seen, and now that you've seen it, you can't go back to not seeing it. Clear as mud. The beauty way is on the bottom. I'm seeing that lotus flower. In fact, it looks like 3 here in the water. And clear as mud. A lotus. Oh my goodness, that's funny. How they grow in the very muddy water. And this is bringing a lot of nurturing and loving in. It feels like you have brought in these, and so 7th house, and I said Venus. You've brought a lot of love to yourself. And I also feel there's a lot of loving beings who are here to support you in this so that you can open, so you can bloom. I'm also noticing all these crystals around the edge, which kind of looks like either clear quartz or Lemurian seeds, with which would make sense with that love. And I'm not necessarily taking what it says, but I'm seeing that this looks like that snow globe type image. And dolphins. Again, Venus. There are beings here. There's the Venus consciousness that is being embedded, I'm hearing, into our frequency at this time. Okay. Wow. So what do we need to know about that? A Venus energy is being embedded into our frequency right now. I have to say, I was so tired. I did not have the energy to do this. And I thought, I'm going to push through it anyway. This is what I'm meant to do. I can take a nap when I'm done. And once I started recording, that's gone. Could we have had another burst of energy on the Schumann? Yes. Is it related to what's happening in my physical reality as well? Yes. Does it have anything to do with the Venus resonance? Yes. Residency. Residence. Venus residence. You may feel, a Venus residency. I feel like perhaps you are of the planet Venus. Ancestors from the planet Venus are here to assist. What came out? Curiosity reversed. This is Zeta spiritual expansion. Okay, there's something here. Spiritual expansion. I thought of something earlier. I didn't write it down, and they're bringing that back to me. What was it? Spiritual meets science. Unifying. Oh, and on the bottom is innocence, which is a unicorn. Unicorn, the consciousness. Unity consciousness of love. That feels like the injection. I feel like your curiosity opened a new space of consciousness for you. And when I put those two cards up here, what's left is acceleration. For you to accelerate, for you to bring that into the reality and create your new reality. Is anybody following this? It feels so I feel like I'm in Metatron's cube. I'm inside the Merkaba, and I am like all over the place. Maybe I am. Release burdens. Embrace clarity and let go of what no longer serves you, allowing new insights to guide your path. That feels like me moving around in that spaceship. That's a burden? Okay, well, just go over here. It's as a human, it becomes difficult because we have the emotions, right? So if we can let go of the feeling of the negativity and move into the higher consciousness and see it in a way you never saw it before, it's easier to let go. It's easier to move on. It's easier to take chances. And I am getting chills, my gosh, on the back of my head. Whew. And that's what has taken place over these last couple of months is we've seen a higher consciousness. We know how to relate to it better. And we're learning how to now put it in our body. Frequent from that. Frequent in reality with it. Okay. There's a collective here who feels that they've gone through a rebirth. You feel that you have gone through a rebirth. A regeneration. Oh, and that was the other thing I made note yesterday was a day of reckoning. That's what it felt like, a day of reckoning. That's that seeing something you can't unsee. And also of times that you've been wrong. We're human. We're doing the best we can. How can you release the emotion of being wrong? Were you truly wrong? Or did you learn that that just wasn't right for you? Can you let go of wrong? So, because we've been raised in this reality that things are right or wrong or good or bad. Can we let go of the belief that we did it wrong? Or did you just do it different? Did you do it before it was time to do it? Did you have future knowledge and that's what you went for? Just like me making the phone call. I ended up calling the people for the next day instead of this day. Maybe you are such a future thinker that you know what's right for you, but the pilgrim. This goes back to that. You're the pilgrim. You are I'm hearing soothsayer. You go before. You're the path clearer. And everybody's like, that's not how you're supposed to do it. We've learned to do it this way. You're supposed to do this. But you're different. You're standing out. Goes back to these past messages the past couple of days. You were meant to be different because you are a leader, a path shower, a path maker. You go out and you clear spaces, create some space. You go into the unknown and create space so that you can rise in consciousness and whatever shows up and you can believe what you believe. You had to clear away from those old beliefs And your curiosity is the one that took you there. You're quite phenomenal, in case you didn't know. That's what I'm hearing. Phenomenal. Yes. I'm just seeing what's on the bottom of the deck here, and that reminder that you're human, mistakes, da da da. You're not afraid of hardships. You came here knowing it was going to be hard. Confront challenges with courage, for they are the stepping stones to growth and wisdom. And that message I did a couple days ago, I think it actually just posted, what day is it? Wednesday morning. That you're meant to be different, and that totally lost where I was going with that. You're here to make a difference. You're here to create those paths. You're here to show others the way. Okay, what's that called? That happened when I was in Anchorage. The man, what is that called? When you mark the path for others to follow. Oh my gosh. What is this called? Spirit? Blazing the trail. You're a trailblazer. Thank you. You're a trailblazer. You came here You came here out of curiosity because you wondered what it would feel like to be a trailblazer. And you stepped into that innocently, having no idea. Your higher self, we're like, what do you mean it's going to be hard? And then you came in here being this human, and you felt feelings, you felt emotions, and you learned what it was like to feel your way. Imagine being a trailblazer, and you're out here with a sigh, and you're chopping a path down. You're making your way through the jungle, and imagine how hot, how sweaty, branches scraping you, rose bushes, I'm seeing thorns scratching you, beating you up, and then coming to this point where you're like, oh, I'm exhausted. I need a rest. I need a break. So you went on vacation back home to Venus land. Venus consciousness, to get a reboost, so that you had the power and the courage and the strength to move forward. And that's what the timeline jump was. You went back to the future. Holy cow, this is so mind-boggling. You went back to the future. That those charts, the Schumann resonance, that's what that's showing. What does the collective need to know about this? You'll have to let me know, like, who resonates, because I resonate as I'm giving this message. I get it. 4444 on the timer when I looked up. I'm right there with you. So whoever's weirding out and geeking out over this. I'm your Venus soulmate here. I feel it. And I'm also curious. You'll have to let me know, do any of you have Cancer moon placements? Curious about that. Cancer or Venus. I have both. So I'm curious who else resonates if you feel like sharing that. 3 of Inspiration. This time of pause. You know where you're going. You know your ship's coming in, but like this, it's time to just stop and rest. Instead of you having to make your way through this path, let them come to you. Oh my gosh. Okay, they just showed me there's this in the big picture. You're making your way on this path. You're creating this path. Something, someone is also creating a path this direction, and you're going to meet. And when you get to the clearing, you'll see each other. You'll see it. You'll see the other side more clearly. The star on the bottom, Aquarius, healing. You'll see the other side more clearly. Star being, I can't even talk. I'm so there. Star beings. That was the other thing I was thinking about. I'm so tired. And then I thought, perhaps being really tired and in this almost trance state, maybe that will actually assist this message to come forward. And I feel like it has, because I'm just out here open. I opened a space to allow it to flow through. And I didn't know how hard it was going to be to say all this. And that's something else that I noted. So when that happened, and in the moment, I find out I called the wrong place. I did not feel stupid. Because later, when I was telling someone else what I did, there was this automated response that started to come out of me, like, I felt so stupid. And I was like, I didn't say it because I was like, no, I didn't. I just made a mistake. I didn't feel stupid. So I'm not going to say that. So you might be recognizing that you talk to yourself differently, or you're catching yourself when you say things that are no longer aligned. It was just an old habit. Those are the things being extracted. I started to say distracted, so those things might be distracting you. And that's something to take a look at, because you're here to create this new timeline. Bottom of the deck, the moon. The pink strawberry moon from June. You know what? We have Marilyn Monroe and the Beauty Way. Now, anybody that relates Beauty and Marilyn Monroe, you know that she was all about the feminine. She was not a smaller woman. She was not the Twiggy that was projected into the world of what beauty is. She made her own beauty. And there's also something about, she could walk down the street and not be noticed until she turned it on. And it was in her mind. When she turned it on, and she would do this with her friends, and be like, I can't believe nobody's noticing you. And she's like, I don't have it turned on. But when she turned it on, she'd go, okay, I'm going to turn it, I'll turn it on now. People would stop her and be like, oh my gosh. turning on your beauty, turning on your turning on your inner body, turning on your inner beauty, turning on your inner God, goddess energy. Thank you. That was awesome. When I get so involved, like it really becomes hard to speak. For those of you that don't channel messages, you might not realize that. And it could sound like, oh my gosh, like they're stuttering all over the place. Yeah, it's because we intuit this information. Well, first of all, these interdimensional beings are 555. I just saw on the timer, significant here. These interdimensional beings are translating information, changing it so that we can comprehend it, and then we get it as like sometimes a word, sometimes a feeling, and we take that and we interpret it, and we have to change it and turn it to be able to relay it so that it can be comprehended. And going back to that, I feel stupid. It's not because you're stupid or you're less than, or it's because what's coming through, what's feeling a strong energy right here. What's coming through is not in human language. And somehow through this blessed spiritual path that I have been blessed to walk, I do this. I can't tell you even how. Thank you. I love it here. I feel very blessed to be here and express these messages that I receive through the heart space. It feels like it feels like my chest breaking open, like if you were to take someone's rib cage and that's kind of like, must be how the Grinch felt when his heart expanded. Wow. Okay, we have the Eight of Voices. This is that feeling. This is like those ribs. Good Lord, help me get through this. But you've seen something. You've seen this higher perspective. You've seen through the darkness. You've seen through the mask. Perhaps have felt imprisoned. And it feels as though you have seen the light now. And you can't go back to this imprisonment. I can't believe that anymore. I can't do that anymore. I no longer accept that as a truth for me. There's something there. And the Hermit, yeah. You've seen a new way because you went internal. You could have felt very vulnerable. She doesn't have clothes on in this. The newborn. that newborn feeling, this rebirth, this regeneration of you. 8, the self, you, your beliefs. And you just keep following this guidance. I'm definitely really picking up on this black and white. So the masculine and the feminine, your higher self is this united consciousness between the masculine and feminine. That's what I'm seeing. And they're assisting you, helping you feel your way there. And you're really paying attention, looking closely. Something about the sense or essence also, because that was the message I just did yesterday. Like, you know what smells right. You know if something smells fishy and it's off. And that keeps you zoned in on your path. It's not a prison. It's simply a guide. Like, come to the light that's calling you. And it feels like it takes you to this very co-creative space with the divine and with other humans. And every time you learn something, I just see this compacting, and you're building and rising in this consciousness. And it's not always, you think you're on a straight path, but you've went around so many mountains, through the mountain, into the cave. It might look like you're just going forward, but you've been hard at work. And you had no idea the amount of strength it was taking you, because you were so focused in. You were just like, I'm seeing a hound dog sniffing their way, sniffing the trail to stay on track and to find what? Well, whatever they're trained to find, right? They're taught with snacks and then trained, like a coon dog. They're trained to hone in and zone in on the scent of a coon. The scent of an animal. Our animalistic vibes. That was definitely coming out yesterday in that reading. All right, I'm going to close this out with a spirit animal message. Pardon me, I have to grab a drink. Okay, as I stopped shuffling, this is card 21, Dove Spirit, Be Peace. That's making me think of that in my dream where I put something to rest, allowed something to rest easier. Past mistakes aren't mistakes. A belief of something surrounding stupid, I'm stupid, I was stupid, I felt stupid. Putting to rest an old belief that you no longer resonate with, whatever that is for you. That's just my example of what I thought and realized. So now I'm realizing that there was a point in my life that I used to believe that If I made a mistake, I was stupid. Well, hello? I've seen something that I can't unsee, and I can't go back. I feel like time's flying by right now. Well, seeing in the future. You've already jumped into the future. We have koi fish spirit. There's always enough. The koi fish, the abundance. Pisces energy. Koi. I'm seeing the koi is the higher consciousness. This golden energy. I'm seeing that being connected to Venus, and I'm also seeing that the Lemurian seed stones that are shaped like a tower, how when the light hits it, it refracts the light into multiple colors, which is the rainbow. The promise of the future. There's always enough. Card number 28, Frog Spirit, clear out the clutter. Clear out the clutter. Oh my gosh, it says clutter. But the other day in a reading, I said somebody trying to make you feel like you're supposed to fit in a certain way, or maybe you have, and being cookie cutter like. Clear out the clutter. And clear out the gutter. Gutter, clutter, cutter. Bear, brown bear spirit. I swear, this is so challenging. I'm seeing things backwards. I'm seeing there's like a reversal because I wanted to say bear brown spirit and it's black. It's brown bear spirit. I started to say black. So the colors black and brown could be very significant here in this message. Card number 9. Take time out. Clear out the clutter. Take time out. This definitely feels like an emotional purge. I'm just noticing 28, that's 10. So we have 10, 9. Card number 48, which is 12. This whole reading has been about 12 and the higher consciousness. Pardon me. There's been a whole lot of throat chakra stuff going on for me personally. Could be for you as well. Clearing out the clutter, the way you were speaking to yourself. And speaking your truth now. Porcupine spirit. Time for a beginner's mind. And what did I say? I just keep seeing the Page of Pentacles. It's not here, but that's how I feel. Like you're learning to navigate this new way. I said this was like a collective who feels like they've gone through a rebirth, correct? And yes, correct. That's what I said. Maybe having more conversations with yourself like that. Assuring yourself, yes, that's what I said. That seems significant here. Everything to me that happens in a reading is for a purpose. I really do believe that. And time for a beginner's mind. So in this rebirth, think about a brand new baby and the stages that they go through, the steps that they take. You know, in the beginning, might be really hard to keep their eyes open. They sleep a lot. They rest a lot. Um, and maybe in their mind, they're like, oh my gosh, there's so many things I would love to do. Maybe their soul is like, oh, when do we get to do that? When do we get to do that? When do we get to do that? But they're here in a baby form and they can't do anything. They can't even feed themselves. I'm seeing, I don't know if that's the neighbor or a worker, but I'm seeing someone washing the windows, seeing more clearly, cleaning off the gunk, the dirt, bringing clarity to their life, seeing more clearly and farther. Interesting. And before you can learn how to walk, you learn how to crawl. Well, first of all, you learn how to roll over. So it feels as though there is a collective here, and I'm right there with you on this one, who feels they've gone through some form of a rebirth. And there's times that we cry. There's times that we need others to nourish us, feed us, to help us learn how to build the right muscles to roll over, to encourage us. Come on, as we're learning how to crawl, to hold our hand as we take that first step. Oh my gosh, this is very emotional. Lots of emotions coming through here. I'm just seeing the bottom of the deck is 36, which is 9. So we have 9 out here. You may have two specific areas of your life that you feel like is rebirthing. Oh, and I said making their way through two. You're going one way, they're coming this way. Like sometimes you just got to rest and let them come towards you. You might be crossing paths with someone very soon that's going to show you the light, show you another way. This feels that could be in the physical form. It feels like it could be angelic. It feels like it could be an ancestor. Like you may have I just heard, and when I looked up, it was 10801. You may have a come to Jesus moment. Literally. Wow. And people usually say that term when they recognize something wrong, a day of reckoning. You may have a come to Jesus moment. Something might be cleared up for you. Again, I'm going back to this woman washing the windows. Like, now you know why it was so important. Now you know it was all worth it. Now you know there has been assistance the entire time working their way towards you. Maybe you'll know a why or a how or a what. It may answer a what if. It feels like all these human reasoning spaces that we circle in and through. Okay, collective. I feel I'm to close this out. Well, let's get one from the fortune teller oracle since we are seeing into the future. Okay, I have to shuffle these. Hold on. My Roku, as it scans across, I see fight land, and underneath it, it says stars, S-T-A-R-Z, fight land, stars. This is giving me like an angelic warrior vibe. Maybe that's why I had to shuffle. Needed to turn around and see that. Something about lots for less. Whatever that may mean to someone. Anything else to close out this message? Bottom of the deck, a serendipitous event will bring you joy and success. That feels like that coming into contact, coming into the clearing. You're making your way one way, they're making their way towards you. The moon's phases align with your desires. Make a wish. We are coming up on the new moon. I believe possibly the portal. What is the day of the new moon? The 12th? 12s. Are you kidding me? Maybe this is a preparation for the new moon. An explanation. That feels like when you will align with something on the 12th. It was 112 when I said that. A hidden truth will soon be revealed. Be open to it. There's something about the imagery of this card, so please take a look. Lots of fire energy there, lots of candles. Rising, the cauldron. And just noting, there is no fire under the cauldron, but the steam is rising anyway. But there sure is a lot of fire energy around. However, it feels very calm. It feels peaceful. It feels illuminating. That's revealing a truth rising. Okay, collective. I'm going to leave this here. That was a long one. Wow. 11333. Those numbers could be significant for you. You'll have to let me know. If you feel guided to do so, I'm interested in what you have to say about seeing into the future and what you feel like you have opened up or released over the past couple of months and how this is playing out for you. I will link that other video in there because I think it's very significant here. So, love you guys. Continue to lead with love, and I will see you next time. Bye now.